Brothers and sisters, our exhortation this morning comes from Hebrews chapter 4, verses 15 and 16, which say this: "We do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need." Well, these two verses are the foundation for our weekly corporate confession. We draw near together because we recognize that corporately, as a people, we have not kept the great covenant of our God and Savior. We need the grace and mercy of Christ. But the question that this passage poses to us this morning is not why we corporately draw near on Sunday. The question is, why do we fail to personally draw near to our God Monday through Saturday? How is it that we can go hours and sometimes even days without drawing near to the Lord when we have so many needs? How is it that we neglect to draw near in the face of the unspeakable blessing of not only having limitless access to the throne of God, but also knowing that that throne is there for our struggle against sin and temptation? There are really only two answers to this question. Either, number one, you do not believe that you are really weak and needy, or number two, you do not believe that you are really sympathized and welcomed at that throne. Let's say you're in the first category. You do not draw near daily because you don't think that you really need sympathy. You don't really know of any weaknesses. Now, don't get me wrong. You know that you're a sinner. Nobody's perfect, right? But weaknesses, plural, as the passage says, you would have a hard time finding one. You're glad the throne of grace is there in case you ever really blew it. And you're especially glad it's there for others, predominantly your spouse. But you, dear brother or sister, need to hear this. You are in grave danger. Your arrogance and presumption on the grace of God will lead to your humiliation. Perhaps, though, you're more in the second category. You do not draw near daily because you think that Jesus' capacity to sympathize with you is running very thin. When you hear verses like these, your jaded gut-level response is something between a scoff and despair. Though you would never say it out loud, you think something along the lines of, "I've drawn near for help more times than I can count, and I am still stuck." Or you think, "I am sure that Jesus is probably getting sick of all these weaknesses I have to bring to Him so often." And the deep irony here is that both of these responses are both prideful to the offer of limitless access to the divine assistance. One is clearly devoid of humility, but the other is a phony humility. In both cases, we show that we really want to do it ourselves. We want to be able to come to the throne of grace and mercy without actually needing grace and mercy. Our failure to draw near to the Lord throughout the day not only shows that how little we understand the depth of our sinfulness, it also shows how little we understand the depth of God's love for us. It robs us of our courage when we don't draw near. It robs us of our strength, of our joy, and especially all of that we need in our struggle against sin. But the good news, brothers and sisters, is that we can always approach King Jesus with confidence, as the passage says. Not because of who we are, but because of who He is. As your sinless high priest, Jesus is not only willing to help you, not only able to help you, Jesus lives and reigns as your royal priest to grant you grace and mercy every single time you ask for it. That is the good news. The privilege to draw near is not the reward for the strong, it is the inheritance of all the baptized, as we just saw a moment ago. But God has given us a better way. Be warned, if you do not draw near, if you do not go to the throne of grace for help, then you will go somewhere else. You will try to soothe your troubled conscience with more sin. You will chase comfort in distraction, numb your shame with pleasure, or justify yourself with pride. Sin is always eager to offer you a false refuge when you refuse to seek the throne of grace and mercy. And so, people of God, take the better way. In Jesus, you are not only allowed to draw near, you are welcomed and you are summoned to draw near every moment. His gospel has opened the way, and so never wait until you feel either worthy enough or unworthy enough to come to the throne of grace. Don't allow your conscience to overshadow your confidence in your Savior. Come to Christ today. Come to Christ continually. Draw near to the throne.